hole. First down, end zone, touchdown, Jacobs, touchdown, Raiders. Would you believe it? Off the bench. The offensive line blows the hole open against that 9-man box, and Jacobs takes it home. Roll Tide, baby.
Gosh, I love Brent Musburger. We all love Brent Musburger. Roll Tide, obviously, you know, Josh Jacobs coming from Alabama. And what a season he's had. I called him yesterday on this show before the game, my offensive rookie of the year candidate right now. Clubhouse leader there, and we'll put the board up here from our Los Angeles Broadcasting Center crew. Last night, Clelin Ferrell, Max Crosby, 3 combined sacks, 2.5 from the kid Ferrell. Clearly his best game as a pro. Hunter Renfrow, 3 catches, 3 of his 4 catches resulted in a first down. This kid Alec Ingold from Wisconsin, undrafted rookie free agent, his first career touchdown. And again, Jacobs is 4th in the NFL in rushing. That is part of the rookie class that was drafted by my guy, Mike Mayock. And I do believe, before we get to Mike, Del Tufo, we have exclusive Rich Eisen show sound of him celebrating last night's victory, correct?
M-A-S-T-E-R, a G with a double E. I said I go by the unforgettable name of the man they call a Master G. Well, my name is known all
He's
over
my
the
guy.
world.
Let's get him right here on the Rich Eisen show, the general manager of the Oakland Raiders. He is Mike Mayock. How are you, Mike?
Awesome, Rich. We really had to go there, huh?
Come on, Mike. You knew it was coming.
Oh, man. You know what? These are good. Look, yes, we did have to go there. Quite frankly, we did. How does this, obviously, look, you know, marathon, not sprint. You know, anything can happen. It's a crazy, crazy league. That said, as you feel right now, 5-4 after that last night, that win in the black hole where everybody's going crazy in Oakland, your feelings are what right now, Mike?
On the positive side, Rich, I think we've got a group of kids that compete, and that's the most important thing to me as we're trying to build a foundation. But we're 5-4. We're not a great football team by any stretch. We've got a long way to go, and I think the important thing is we got to, and I learned this years and years ago, every day if you get a little bit better, just every single day a tiny bit better, and keep that your focus, it's a powerful force multiplier over a season. And that's what I hope. I'm not worried about playoffs. I'm not worried about records. I'm worried about this young team keeping their focus and just trying to get a tiny bit better every single day.
That kid Jacobs is special, Mike. When did you first see how special he could be?
Well, I've told this story often, but real quickly, I mean, when I took the job, it was plus or minus January 1st last year, and the national championship game was in San Francisco, right down the road from Oakland. So I went to the game, and I had watched a bunch of his tape and loved him. But remember, I'm like 5 days on the job here with Coach Gruden. Mm-hmm. And I came back from the game and back to the office that night, and I put together a 7-play cut-up of Josh Jacobs. And if you're going to play running back for John Gruden, first you got to pass protect, then you got to catch the ball, and finally we can talk about you as a running back. And I put a 7-play reel together where it was him knocking defensive ends on their butt 3 times in pass pro, him catching 2 passes, and then finally 2 runs. And at 5:30 the next morning or whatever, I walked into John's office and said, I want you to watch a guy. We're going to take him in the first round. And he's like, Mike, it's January. There's no way. And I'm like, Coach, just watch 7 plays with me. And we watched the 7 plays, and all of a sudden he was like, he's pretty good, Mike. He's not bad. Huh? And so to say he was on our radar early would be fair, and we tracked him all the way through the process.
I got to tell you, Mike, when you mention pass pro and obviously catching and running and just the way that he does pass protect and the way that he can smoothly catch out of the backfield and the way that he cuts so quickly and the violence with which he runs and the way that he runs and carries people after contact, I'm watching him and I'm thinking, who does he remind me of? He reminds me of somebody. And I'll tell you, he reminds me of Zeke. He looks like Zeke Elliott to me. And I'm wondering how far off you think I am.
Well, I mean, to paraphrase Bill Parcells from 30 years ago,
yes.
Let's not go anointing him for anything. he's 9 games into his career,
yes,
and we're cautiously optimistic. And what's cool, Rich, is he doesn't look like he's 224 pounds, but he is.
Mm-hmm.
And his lateral quickness is outstanding. He didn't run a great 40, and I was at the Alabama Pro Day praying he would run slow. I mean, I was literally at the finish line timing him, hoping it would be bad, because I knew that would turn some people off. So I think his lateral quickness, his ability to make people miss, his pass protection, his hands, and the cool thing is it looks like the play is blocked for 1 yard and he gets 4. And then it looks like you block it for 4 and he gets 10. So if this kid takes care of all the details, he's got a chance to be pretty good.
You know what? It's been a while since I was on a broadcast with you, Mike, where I gave my opinion in terms of an evaluation and held my breath to see if you agreed with me or not. It's been a while. I felt like it's been 2006 through 2018 all over again, right there. I felt that.
Well, I got to be honest. I feel like I spent most of those 12 or 14 years watching you play with your phone under the table while I was evaluating.
No, I was actually, when I was doing that, I was paying attention to something called Twitter that you always poo-pooed, Mike. You know?
I still do. Even more so.
Oh.
Check my last tweet. It was probably before I took the job.
Maybe so. All right, Brockman's on that. Mike Mayock here on the Rich Eisen Show. Best game out of Ferrell as well. And that was, interesting how back when it was 2006 to 2018, and if you had gone on NFL Network, say, I like this Ferrell kid, and then somebody didn't draft him in the top 5, they'd say, what's wrong with my general manager? And then you actually were a general manager and did it, and were somewhat criticized for the pick. What do you think of his development, Mike?
I think he is who we thought he was. And he's not flashy. He's going to be a really good NFL player. I don't think we helped him at times. I mean, we asked him to play a bunch inside, and that's hard. He's never played inside in his life. So he kind of took one for the team because we asked him to do some things he had never done before. The last two games, he's been outside only. I thought the second half of the Detroit game a week ago, he started to come on against a pretty good tackle. And then last night, he flashed some of what I think we hope to see more of. And he's stout against the run, and he's a power rusher that's got just enough slip to be a good pass rusher also. So I'm happy people got to see a little bit of what we think he can be.
A few minutes here with Mike Mayock, Raiders general manager here on the Rich Eisen Show. What have you learned about being a GM through your first several months on the job that you didn't know or you thought you needed to learn going in, Mike?
It's 24/7, 12 months a year. You're on call every minute of every day. There's really never downtime where you just kind of get to take a step back and go, wow, I want to go put my feet in the sand and drink a beer because there's always something going on. But it's also, for me, Rich, what it was all about was the 3.5 hours every Sunday or Thursday night, whatever. That's what it's all about. And it was, 30? I texted my 6 younger brothers and sisters in the locker room right before the kick, week 1 against Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I texted my 6 brothers and sisters and said, wow, it's been 35 years between NFL games for me, and I can't believe how I'm feeling right now.
Well, I mean, the previous times you played, how do you handle the not being able to control what's going on the field? How do you handle that?
I try to be stoic up in my box, but I'm not real. It's an emotional roller coaster, and it's been everything I had hoped and more, Rich.
I bet so. How much Hard Knocks did you leave on the cutting room floor, Mike Mayock? I sensed it was you with a pair of scissors this past summer, just slicing it up and leaving it on the cutting room floor with a chainsaw, not scissors. How much? What'd you do there?
I don't think they love me.
They do in NFL films, Mike. You go way back with everybody in that building. Come on now.
Yeah, I may have ruptured a relationship or two. I'm not sure, but I'm a rookie GM. I don't know what I'm doing. having Hard Knocks there was hard. And, I was trying to protect my head coach. I was trying to protect our team, and I thought that was my job. So.
And were you hiding Jacobs from that, too? Because we didn't see him at all. I mean, he wasn't on that summer at all, Mike.
One of the reasons I love this kid is he came to me on the first day of training camp, and he said, Hard Knocks asked me to do this, and somebody else asked me to do that. And he said, do I have to? I said, no, Josh, you don't. And as a matter of fact, if you don't want to do it, tell me right now, and we'll take care of that. And he said, I just want to focus on football. I don't want any other distractions. And now in hindsight, how good does that look about the maturity of this 21-year-old man?
His story is amazing. I mean, his story is absolutely amazing. And Waller, where did he fit into all of this, Mike, and what he's become? And obviously, you've signed him long term now. His story. Now, I'm glad that got through the Hard Knocks goalie. That blew me away. Just seeing, I had no idea about his journey and how he's wound up a crucial member of your offense, not just for this year, but from Vegas in years to come, Mike.
I thought the Hard Knocks crew, the NFL Films people, did a great job detailing that. And I went to Darren to make sure it was okay with him. Mm-hmm. And to show you his maturity and where he is in his sobriety, he said, Mike, I want to tell my story, and I want to help people to the extent I can now with my platform. And he's an extremely mature, intelligent, and serious young man who wants to help other people. And I think we get so fired up about wins and losses in the NFL and the penalties and the officiating, and we kind of forget about some of these special young men. And he's one of them, Rich. He wants to give back. I'm so excited for this kid, both personally and professionally, I can't tell you.
And then just a couple more guys I want to hit with you. Derek Carr, Mike, obviously. You mentioned it's what it takes to be a running back in Gruden's system. I can only imagine what it takes to be a quarterback with John Gruden, and how that is meshed and how it might mesh beyond this year. So much evaluation of him by a lot of fans and folks in positions like mine about how their relationship is.
I love the fact that Derek has bought in to what John is preaching. And I think there are a lot of quarterbacks, Rich, that could look at our offense right now and say, I want to throw the ball more. And we've got a big offensive line. We're running the football. We're getting the ball out quickly in the pass game. Derek's getting protected. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league when you protect him. And to his credit, he's bought into the whole thing. He's become a leader of this team. And he believes in what John's doing. He believes what we're doing. He believes in the run game. I give him a lot of credit. He's spreading the ball around. People are trying to take Waller away from us now, and you start to see the emergence of, say, Hunter Renfrow. So Derek has done a great job of buying into the program and being accurate. And, last night we had a 2-minute drive to win a football game, and that's where your quarterback has to step up, and he did.
A couple more questions for you, too, Mike. We go way back, and you know how I approach my job. I do want to ask you about Antonio Brown, whose name is in the news here, saying he wants another shot. He wants to be back in the league, and then he doesn't. And he has been very active on social media over the last 24, 48 hours. What do you think should happen with Antonio Brown, Mike?
Rich, he's not my concern anymore.
Okay, and I will leave it at that then. And now, no, I hear you. I just felt the need I had to ask you right there. Then the last thing from you here, this coming weekend, let's put you back a little bit in the role that I've enjoyed being with you for so long, with Alabama playing LSU. And 1 versus 2 in terms of quarterbacks potentially coming out in the draft. 2 things. 1, how big of a game is this in terms of NFL prospects for you, Mike, as a GM?
It's huge. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to be at that game, and I had to cancel my flight just because we got some things going on here I got to take care of. But it pains me not to be there tomorrow on the field pregame watching all these guys run around. From a perspective of the draft and prospects, it's one of the games every year where every team and every scout is going to look at this game about 30 times. And it's good against good, ones against one, whatever you want to talk about. But you get a true benchmark of the top players in the country playing against each other in a game of magnitude. So this game is going to be scrutinized. It's going to be one of the most scrutinized games of the year. And
then in terms of these two kids at quarterback, do you think when all push comes to shove on a draft night through the talent evaluation crucible, that this game could be the difference as to who gets drafted over the other, Mike?
I don't know who's declaring for the draft and who isn't at this point, Rich.
But I guess in terms generally a game where we're going against each other's defenses in a game where kids who are at the same position, could this make a difference when an evaluation is made, push comes to shove, when you're on a clock? Let's put it that way generally.
I think the media focus of Tua versus Burrow, they're never on the field at the same time, obviously. I get frustrated with that. I used to get frustrated at the media sometimes. I think the point, though, that you make is a really good one regarding the quality of the opposition. So are people, if Tua was to come out, would people want to focus on him against LSU's defense? Absolutely. How he performs on a big stage with a ton of pressure? Absolutely. Same thing with Joe Burrow, if he comes out. Would teams want to focus on him against Alabama's? Absolutely. There are 2, 3, 4 games a year that are huge for these guys coming out of Power 5 conferences. And it's not just the quarterbacks, it's every player on that field on Saturday. And I can't wait to watch it, first of all on television, and then I'm going to get the tape out and I'm going to love going through that tape.
I bet so. Last one for you, Mike. You think you'll go to an Florida State Pro Day for Coach Deion Sanders? What do you think? What do you think? Apparently it's out there. Mike.
Who's that, Leon Sandcastle?
No. No, Deion taking the gig at Florida State. It's apparently in the ether out there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Let me flip the tables here. Ask you a question.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, you and Deion are tight. Do you think he would embrace the grind? Would he like that?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
Oh, that's cool.
I do believe that with a hand over my heart. I think he would be absolutely embracing it, and you know the way he is with his kids, with his youth and his high school and his truth. He is that's real. So I think he would, and I would love to see a photograph of you in Raiders gear and him in Florida State gear at a pro day. I mean, my gosh, life is amazing. Right.
Well, the good news is you got an upgrade with Daniel Jeremiah and those guys, and Charles Davis. So you're in good hands in the draft, brother.
I love you, Mike Mayock. I don't care who knows it. You take care of yourself, Mike. Okay.
I appreciate you, Rich.
Right back at you. That's GM of the Oakland Raiders, soon to be Vegas Raiders, Mike Mayock, fresh off a big Thursday night win right here on The Rich Eisen Show.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.
Hey Raider Nation, if you like that video, please hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss any of our exclusive content, behind the scenes footage, and more. Go Raiders.